Check out this video for a closer look of the South Africa versus Namibia game. Welcome back to SkinnyBru Rugby, guys. In this video I'll focus a little bit more on the South Africa versus Namibia game. I've already done a video focusing on all my predictions for all the games of this week, so I'll leave a link up here if you want to check that out, or you can just check it out at the end of the video. The other game I'll be covering is Wales versus Australia. I'll be putting out a video probably tomorrow or Saturday for that one. So for South Africans and Namibians, they are going to the place where Hilux Buckies come from. They are playing in Toyota City Stadium. And for South Africa, it's going to be less of a stressful game than the one against New Zealand, but it is still a very important one. They did say every game is a must win. I've gotten a recommendation from one of the loyal subscribers, Grant, thanks for this one, to do a live stream for this game. Obviously there won't be any match footage for it, but I'll be talking about the game with you. We'll talk to each other. We can chat during the game, and I'll share my opinion on some of the calls. Let me know what your thoughts are, if you would be interested in watching that. If you are, please leave it down in the comments. I would like to know what your thoughts on a live stream would be. Before I tackle the game, remember to hit that subscribe button if you do like the content. I do appreciate it. And then also join the SuperBru down in the description below. Let's get into it. So like I said, the game is over in Toyota land, where Hiluxes and Fortuners roam free, and it's the South Africans and Namibians' jobs to go tame them. The stadium is a bit smaller than last week's one for the Boks. It's 45,000 people, but it can hold that much people, but it's still quite big. I don't think it's going to be sold out like the 72,000 for last week, but I think it's still going to have quite a few people in there, because South Africa does have quite a loyal following over there. Both teams come off the first round losses that they've had. South Africa had that heartbreaking 10-point loss to New Zealand, and in Namibia they had a predictable 25-point loss, or they had a predictable loss, but it was by 25 points. A lot of people would have predicted it a little bit more, so that's good for Namibia. The last time these two teams met, South Africa thrashed Namibia by 87-0 in the 2011 World Cup, so that's quite heavy margins over there. But this time around, I don't think it's going to be that big. I think Namibia looks intent of putting up a fight in this one. They did put up 22 points against Italy, so they look like they don't want to just lie down for every team. They want to put up a fight. This is what the squads look like for each team. For the Boks, they have Beast, Mbonambi and Koch. Beast at 1, then Mbonambi, hooker. Koch, he's in at 3, but he would probably have been on the bench if Trevor was still there. Trevor has had an excellent season, so that's sad for him to be ruled out for the rest of the World Cup. Namibia will fear the experience of Beast, and even Bongi and the Vanilla Gorilla Koch, have built up a reputation at the moment. And then for the Namibians, I can't really figure out if this is their first or second team. They've made a lot of changes to the squad, but the next game is against New Zealand, so maybe they're just kind of splitting their resources between the two squads. So I don't know if this is their best squad, this is their second best squad, or maybe it's just a split in the squads. They went with Sethi on number 1, Van der Westhuizen, and then de Klerk. It will be interesting to see what goes on, because this front row was strong at times last week, but this is a completely new front row. I would have liked to see Torsten van Jaarsveld at number 2, just because he's been playing in South Africa for so long. I would have liked to see him play against these guys as well. The locks are 2 Bulls for South Africa, or should I say 2 former Bulls at the moment. It's the Undertaker, RG Snyman, and Jake from 2.5 Men, Loot the Jager. It's 2 powerful runners. Loot, he's more of a crash ball runner. He takes the ball really strongly into the line. And then RG, he's someone that can actually rack up some meters in a game. And with that silky skills with his hands, you don't know what to expect from him. But you do know he will want to get into a fight somewhere into the game. The guys with the impossible task of timing them at line out time is They are quite well equipped. It's Retief and then the captain Ioanivi. He's a hard guy. He gets around the park, so he's quite good in that respect. The loose forwards for South Africa, Francois Low, Kwagga Smith. He has some speed. He's gonna run like a center on the field. What he does lack in defense a little bit, the other guys will make up because the pack is quite strong. They do have quite a solid pack chosen this week. At number 8 is an interesting inclusion of Schalk Brits at number 8. It's interesting. Remember, he started out at school levels as a center. He switched over to flanker later on and then only moved to hooker. So he has played there very long ago though, but he does have the attributes as a player. He does kind of play like a flanker or as a loose forward. So maybe this could work. It's going to be interesting. But I think this loose forward combination might work really well. If there's ever a game to try it out, it would be this one. But I would have liked to see Kolisi actually get a start. He needs to still get his game time, his match fitness up because he's still returning from his injury. So that would have been a little bit better for me. So that would have worked out. But this is what they went with. So I still think it's good. Brits is an experienced guy and he's leading the side as captain from his new position. Brits will also cover the number 2 position. So if Bongi goes off, Brits will switch to number 2 and Kolisi will probably come on. So I think we might see that early in the second half. The loose forwards for Namibia, it's Forbes, Katijeko and Boyson. All new loose trio for them. We'll have to see how they do against South Africa. Then it's the Yankees duo for South Africa. It's a combo that I quite like actually. They do complement each other. Elton Yankees is someone that needs the ball on front foot if he wants to perform. On the back foot he is a very poor number 10. On the front foot he does perform well, and Herschel is the guy you need for that. He's a very quick number 9. And he can really stick up his hand to replace Faf if Faf does get dropped after a very poor performance. I doubt he would, but he is chasing him down, and Faf really needs to pull up his socks if he doesn't want to be dropped for Yankees at the moment. I hope this week around there's going to be less box kicks though, because that was a very irritating part of last week's game, and Herschel does do it a little bit better. I think his kicking is a bit better, but that's not what we're supposed to do. Then if 1 or 2 Yankees wasn't enough, we have a third one on the park, Eugene Yankees for Namibia. He is the experienced scrum half for Namibia. He's playing at his 4th World Cup. He benched last weekend, so he's starting now, and he's with the young 22-year-old fly half, Cliven Loubser. He's also quite a good player. I do find him quite good. He is one of Namibia's top scorers already with his 16 caps now behind his name. So that's quite interesting, but I do like him, and I think they also complement each other, and it's going to be an interesting battle. At the centers, Frans Steyn at 12. Finally we can see him play a little bit more, get a little bit more game time. I would like to see that he doesn't just play a one-dimensional game, just busting runs, that he does do everything around the park like everyone claims he can still do. At 13, is in Kriel. He's out with a minor strain, so he's not picked this week. So they said he would have been picked, but is in. Is a good choice, so I'm happy with that. Then the 12-13 combo for Namibia. They have Walters and Greiling, who moved from the wing. I thought Dele Harper did quite well last week, but Namibia has had a couple of good centers of late. They've always been able to make good centers over there, so these two would probably do the job as well. 11 is Mapimpi for South Africa. He also remains in the squad with so it's one of 2 guys that still stays in the squad. And I hope he works this week on his rush defense. I hope that's the reason he is still in the squad, because his rush defense has been really poor. Number 14, Sabu Nkosi. I hope he goes on from where he left off. He's been in really great form, and he's been challenging Colby for that 14 jersey. And this has just been making both of them better players. At 15, it's Galant. He's not in the greatest form, but he can only be better than Willie Leroux last week. If he passes 2 balls into someone's hands and catches the ball like 1 time, he's already playing better than Willie Leroux last week. Sorry about that. That's still raging. Forget about it. Okay, so then at the wings for Namibia, it's Klim. He's from the bench. He moves from the bench from last week. And then Plateau, he's in at 14 again. He retains his position. And then 15, Tromp, he also stays in his position. And he might have to field a lot of balls, have to catch a lot of them, if South Africa continues with that same strategy. Hopefully they don't. The bench for South Africa, Kitshoff, Thomas de Toey, he's in immediately after being flown in this week. Eben Etzebeth, Kulisi, Mostert, they said he's going to cover loose forward as well this weekend. Kobus Reinach, it's going to be great to see him get a little bit of game time as well. I've been waiting for him. Damien de Allende, I think that's good. He's been solid, so you want to build on that. He's been in quite good form as well. Colby, that's great. I think he's going to inject some flair into the game, and I would like to see him being injected at the number 15 or at the 11 jersey, so that we might be able to change things up a little bit later into the tournament. The bench for Namibia is Nortje, Rademacher, Kutsia, Gauseb, Venter, Conradi, Kitsing and Duisel, who's going to bring some experience to the field. Look, at the end of the day, South Africa are the favourites on the park and they will probably win this one, but I don't think it's going to be a runaway game like we've seen in the past. Some of the tier 2 teams, or actually all of them, have really been hard this World Cup so far. They've really been challenging every team they've been have been playing. Namibia, they scored 3 tries against Italy, so they're gonna aim to do exactly the same against South Africa. Namibia will want to challenge at the scrum time. It's gonna be very difficult with that front row of South Africa. They're gonna want to challenge at line-out time. They're gonna struggle with that as well. Those 2 Bulls, or former Bulls, locks, are quite good. The place that they can challenge though is with some good pinpoint kicking. They can challenge the back line of South Africa if they do have pinpoint kicks. That can be a point where they really challenge South Africa and make it difficult for them. But I think South Africa will still be a little bit too much. I think the Springboks can do it. I don't want to say it's going to be a runaway game, so I think South Africa will at the end edge it by 3 tries and a penalty, so I put it down as 24 points. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like that video, please hit that subscribe button and also check out my Twitter and Facebook pages down in the description below, and join the SkinnyBru pools. If you want to check out any of my other videos, it will be here next to me, and then I'll see you for the next one. Cheers.